Hi, this is Warren from the ICA, back with another Resolve tip. Sorry it's been a while. I've been busy down here in Australia working on a couple of features, and now I'm on a small little commercial here. This is a tip about keyframing and dynamics. Dynamics up here is the term, DaVinci term, that's been around since I've been using DaVinci, at least since 15 years, which means dynamic means to change from one color to another, or from one frame size to another. And it could mean a dissolve to get there, or some people use the term keyframing to do a change. Now, here's how it works. If I start it here, dynamic, and I start dynamic here, if I click on that and then hit play, you can see it has given me a little mark here. So let's play on to where we want to end this dynamic. I'm going to end it there. So I've hit stop before he reaches his end spot, and that is dynamic add mark. Now there's obviously keyboard shortcuts for this, which won't mean so much for this tutorial. And also, if you've got a Surface, there's obviously shortcuts for all of these things. Here we see this silver sort of triangles back to back. If you don't see this, then you've marked something in the wrong order. Now just go to the end of that, dive into primary tab here, and you will see geometry controls. Let's do a zoom up and then play our film, and we can see that zoom will come up. It's running a bit slow. I'm just on my laptop here doing this. If you look at that move and think, well, that's a very linear move, you know, I wouldn't move in. Or if we come here and we do our rotate, just click on this guy here, we do a rotate and it looks very linear, which is what it is. It's probably not how you would rotate a camera. It's very robotic or motion control like. You can change that. Click here, change dissolve type, see it's linear. So all I did was click on this mark, then I've right clicked on it. Like everything in Resolve, a lot of things are right click. Change that to a 2 and a 2, and that will now give you a nice slow start, a ramp up and a ramp down. Much better for dissolves. You can set this in your preferences if you wish, which means that they will always be like this. Now it will start slow and you can see it speeds up. This is great. But there is a problem here, because the director says to me, that's great, Warren, I just think you've gone a little bit too gold. Let's try a little cooler on the church. You go to the beginning, in the node where we did it, back to color wheels. Let's add some coolness to this here like this, which is going to say, well, let's make it a bit more threatening. Maybe take some saturation down. And let's see how that works now with my new push in, my new dynamic that I've made. Hit play. And all of a sudden, well, the director says, hang on, where's my coolness gone? The reason for that is if you look here, you are actually dynamicing PTZR, which is pan, tilt, zoom, rotate, but you're also changing node 1 and node 2. So if I was to go in here to node 1 and I was to just up my brightness of the overall shot in there, and then I hit play again, that's also going to be dynamic. That's now going to get darker and more colourful, and we're going to see. So how do we get round this? How do we get round this issue? Well, a quick way to get rid of what I've done is to do this. Draw a box, shift click, draw a box around it, and they all go to green. Right click again, delete selected marks. We now have no marks. We now have my bluer grade. I'll just take some of that luminance out of there. I'm going to work with this cool picture happening in node 2. We'll back him up a little bit. Session tab at the top. All color PTZR. Click it once and it will go to the node you are on. Node 2, but I want to change my sizing, my PTZR, so hit it again. It is a three-way toggle. Now it's just using the green bar. I can hit Start Dynamic. Again, play my film. Notice I always call it film, whether it's Alexa or it's DV. It's just a habit. I always say play the film. Add mark at the end. You've now got your diamonds on their back-to-back here, just marking up the PTZR layer and the master layer. The master layer just shows you where you've made a dynamic. Come into here and let's make an obvious change by doing a rotate like this. Go back, hit play, it rotates, but at any time the director says, well, I think really we need to just change overall color. We can come back in here and change it back to more of a normal, maybe desaturated look there. It will not be influenced because you are not dynamically changing that. This is the correct way of working with dynamics. It's a bit hard to remember, but make sure you always use the green bar. Then you can have lots of dynamics going on at different times. Color changing, power windows changing, PTZR changing. It's good discipline to work this way. Thanks for listening. Please check out the ICA for any other information on real classroom training, and also check out our Facebook pages and our other social media places for all that's going on with the ICA. Thanks very much for viewing.